Hey, welcome back to J.P.'s World of Wrestling. I am your man J.P. And today we're going to talk about patriotic WWF superstars. Being as how it was just Independence Day, 4th of July weekend, and so we're going to talk about some patriotic wrestlers that I remember, and I'm going to do it by showing you their Hasbro figure. And we're going to start with this guy. That's right, Sergeant Slaughter. Now, when I'm talking about Sergeant Slaughter, of course, I'm not talking about the guy that was an Iraqi turncoat and the guy that turned his back on America in the early '90s. Oh, heck no! I am talking about the Sergeant Slaughter from the early '80s that was having feuds with guys like the Iron Sheik, the guy that stood up for America and represented the United States military and did it very proudly. Very proudly standing up for the United States of America. Sergeant Slaughter was a real tough guy. He was a he was a bad, you know what, and I mean I have to admit that when he was having his feud with the Iron Sheik, that was kind of before I started watching wrestling. But since then, I've kind of gone back. I've kind of gone back and watched some of those matches. So they were pretty good. He represented the United States well, and I'm proud as an American. I've got my I'm a Real American shirt on today, and I'm proud that this guy represented the United States of America. Oh, yeah, Sergeant Slaughter. And now the next guy I'm going to talk about is this guy. Oh, USA! USA! Mr. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Everybody loves Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Well, most everybody. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. I'm just saying. But no, Hacksaw, he wasn't super technical. He wasn't a high flyer. He was just a brawler. And that's okay because that's what his character was. He was a brawler. But of course, he carried the 2x4, which I don't have. But he also carried to the ring a big American flag. That's right. Nobody more patriotic than Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I can remember during all the times in the matches when not only would he give the big ho, but also he would start chanting USA, USA. And I can remember one specific SummerSlam, or I think it was a Royal Rumble. Yeah, I think it was 1989 Royal Rumble. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Hart Foundation were in a six-man tag with, I think, the fabulous Rougeau brothers and Dino Bravo. But uh, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. But in the beginning of the match, Hacksaw started chanting USA, USA, and the crowd started chanting USA with him. And then Jesse the Body Ventura said, why are these people chanting USA when Bret the Hitman Hart comes from Toronto or comes from Calgary, Canada? And then so Gorilla Monsoon had to explain to him, well, because he's on the same team as Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And so, you know, it's okay. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the American flag and 2x4 wielding patriotic American. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I salute you, sir. And of course, when you're talking about patriotic American wrestlers, you can't leave out this guy. I am a real American, the real American Hulk Hogan. That's right, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Everybody knows how patriotic Hulk Hogan was. Stood up for the United States of America. He was a real American. And when I was a child watching this guy on TV, it made me proud to hail from the United States of America just simply because this guy, this larger than life guy, was coming out and he was beating guys that were bigger than him. And my favorite was when, though, he would beat guys from other countries or guys that were very anti-America. But Like when he beat Sergeant Slaughter, or when Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7, but when he beat the Iron Sheik in 1984 for the WWF title, oh yeah, that was a great day to be an American, and that was a great day to be an American wrestling fan. Admittedly, that was a little bit before my time, but of course since then I've gone back to watch that match, and it was a good one. It really was. A lot of people talk about Hulk Hogan. Oh, he can't work. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so tired of hearing that. If you listen to Ted DiBiase's podcast, Everybody's Got a Pod, Ted DiBiase will tell you that's not true. Hulk actually can work, and he did work. It's just, he wasn't, he didn't do a lot of like super technical moves, but he sold. Like for his opponents, he really sold for his opponents, and he really worked hard in there. He really worked hard in the ring. And, Hulk Hogan, especially when he was a champion, he would travel around everywhere, making appearances, signing autographs, doing Make-A-Wish things. He would do all kinds of stuff when he was the champion. And, he worked hard at it. And when people say, oh, Hulk didn't work, Hulk didn't do jobs, blah, 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 blah. Just stop. Give it a rest, okay? Now, I'm not saying Hulk Hogan is perfect, because he's not. But at the same time, people need to find other avenues of getting out their frustrations with certain wrestling storylines that didn't go the way they wanted. Because there were guys that I wasn't too big of a fan of, but I'm not going to spend my time bad-mouthing them on YouTube or whatever, because it's just not how I choose to spend my time. And because I know there's people out there that really liked that person or those guys. I'm not a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I think, in my opinion, I think Stone Cold is the most overrated wrestler ever. But that's just my opinion. A lot of people liked him, hence how big he got in the late 90s. So I'm not going to spend my time talking about it. Instead, I choose to spend my time talking about guys like Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Because those are the guys that I enjoyed watching when I was a kid. United States of America, I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be a wrestling fan, and I'm proud to be an American wrestling fan that grew up watching those three guys. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. If you're new here, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you can share if you want. That helps me out too. And I will see you next time.